Welcome to the Horse Talk Show. Have you ever seen a horse who could talk? With your host, Louisa Barton, who really wants to be a famous rider. She really loves to ride fast. Presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care.
Truth is, I have horses with people problems.
Now here's the Brit on the bit, Louisa Barton. Enjoy the show.
Larson Farms is our TV broadcast sponsor. Mr. Richard Larson, a man of great integrity, cares about every single bale of hay and about taking care of his customers. He also has a huge heart for those genuinely in need. Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital. Thank you for joining us on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
I'm Louisa Barton.
I'm Dancing Pete Rhoda.
And we have a great show lineup for you. We have Emma Van Riper joining us from Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care in the first half of the show. She is newish with Peterson Smith. We're very glad to have her with us as the social media manager, and we're going to hear a little bit about her role at Peterson Smith. We also have a recap of the Equine Expo, Hobby Horse Equestrian Games and Parade. And then on the second half of the show, presented by Palm Chevrolet, we will be talking to Muriel from MD Equine about thermal imaging. And we're going to have Sean McCarthy with us, one of a kind in equine dentistry. And I am not kidding about that at all. He's going to share a little bit with us about the Expo. Also want to talk to him about the importance of knowing what your dentist is actually doing in your horse's mouth and that you are getting everything you think you're getting. And that's can be a huge problem as far as digestion goes, because obviously horses need to be able to chew their forage before they swallow it. So that's very, very important when it comes to things like impactions and concerns like that with horses' health. I've just recently had a very upsetting experience with that myself, so it's something that I really want to share with our audience and make sure everybody knows how important that is. We do have some news and announcements.
Viva Las Vegas.
This is Dancing Pete Rhoda in a Elvis costume. Then you'll really be worried about your belly, won't you?
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
December 7th.
Wow.
From 5 to 9 p.m. at the Mary Sue Ridge Community Center. And this is the Stirrups and Strides annual gala and banquet fundraiser. So we definitely want to support this as much as we can. You cannot go out for an evening with dinner and drinks and entertainment and casino and fun and dancing for $100. So a single ticket's $100. You can also reserve a table sponsorship as well if you want.
And they're actually going to have show-like things, a contortionist. They're going to have dancers, a magician. So this is going to be just like you're at Vegas.
It's going to be a good time. So, and another great cause, of course, Stirrups and Strides Therapeutic Riding does so much for people with disabilities of all sorts. And anytime you can bring people with disabilities and horses together, the results are absolutely tremendous.
And you're the MC.
Oh, that's right. I almost forgot. I am the MC. That's right. I need to get myself a Viva Las Vegas outfit, ASAP, right?
That's right.
Also, don't forget that we are just around the corner from 2025.
November went by.
It's hard to believe, isn't it? It flew by. And so January the 18th from 8 to 1 p.m., TT Distributors Horse and Farrier Supplies, one-of-a-kind place, 7150 West Highway 40 in Ocala, are going to appreciate their customers with door prizes, 10% off store-wide raffles. There's going to be food vendors. I know I'm going to be there. There'll be some product reps on site as well for questions about their products. Their store is absolutely amazing. It's,
Woohoo.
I don't know, a couple of years now, I think, since they moved locations.
Yeah.
Wow, that building is just awful.
Well, I used to go to T&T when they were the old building, and I used to say, it doesn't look like much, but you can find everything in there. And then when they moved to the new building, it was like
now it looks like much.
Yeah, now it looks like
you can still get
you still find everything.
And they've got lots of blankets in stock right now for horses and dogs as well. And they've got their Santa buckets that you can go in and get a Santa bucket and you can add a gift card in it, and it's a perfect gift for a horse person. They've got the buckets, and in them are all the goodies, nice little bow on them. Go in there and you stick a gift card in it, and look at that, it's all the work's done for you. And
I wonder if you can get a bucket and do your own.
Oh, that would be a great idea. And then they give you the bow. Yeah, fantastic.
There you go.
So Christmas buckets at TT. I can't believe it, but believe it or not, we're in December, which means that it's time to get ready for Christmas. And our CEP's Equine Initiative, presented by Piranha, is going to have their December meeting on the 13th of December from 4 to 8 p.m. at the CC Belandi Marchador Farm, which is at 5201 Northwest 110th Avenue in Ocala. We are going to have such a good time. This is usually only for CEP partners, but if you reach out to me and you would like to come as my guest and check out what we do with the Equine Initiative, we would love to have you come as a guest.
Wow. The Christmas parties are always the best.
They are the best. And we have a couple of wonderful sponsors. Equifence of Florida is helping us out with this one, and Dillon Media Group too. We are going to combine Equine Christmas Party, the second Equine 201 of the year, some Marchador riding demonstrations where you can get up close with these horses for some photos. We're going to have live music, Brazilian cuisine, dancing.
Woohoo!
Imagine that. And another surprise that we aren't going to talk about that only Pete and I know about right now, and perhaps the people here in the studio. And so it's going to be a really, really good time. So if you are not a CEP partner and you would like to attend this, you can email Louisa at ocalacep.com, and we would love to have you come as a guest and find out more about what we do with the CEP's Equine Initiative. Black Friday sale, can you believe it? Just around the corner. Just if you're listening on Saturday morning, though, of course, on the radio, you missed this already. But Black Friday
That's right.
sale,
Thanksgiving's Thursday.
Yes, that's right. Is at Nirvana this week. Check out their Black Friday sale. They've got loads of wonderful things you can treat yourself to, and you know that you deserve it. So
That's
Nirvana
right.
Medical Spa, the best way to treat yourself to an early Christmas present for self. Another quick mention for Equifence, because other than supporting our Christmas meeting, they also jumped in and did a beautiful job helping us set up for the first day of the 2 days of this weekend's events at the Expo. They sent out a team to help us build a little temporary barn and to put some round pens together. And that was such a blessing to have a team come out like that and help us out. It was wonderful. FEI Stabling, Frederick's Equestrian International, if I can get that out,
Wow.
sent us a lovely 2-stall temporary barn so we could have horses present for all of our events over the weekend. Even though we had a barn full, we wanted people to be able to see and hear horses while everything was going on. So Equifence, thank you. And they offer all these incredible services beyond just fencing. They do all sorts of different kinds of excavation work and all that sort of thing. So this great team and the FEI Stables gentleman that came out to help us, it was just wonderful. So I do want to say thank you.
Tommy the Fence Turner and his crew.
That's right. And they were wonderful. They saved my back from being far worse than it is already. Peterson Smith is closed for the holiday. So if you need any refills or have any questions, contact them as quickly as you can and get the essentials that you need before the holiday. Of course, the emergency hospital and ambulatory services remain available 24/7 for any urgent care at 352-237-6151. But the office is closed from November 28th to December the 1st. They are having some well-earned time with their family, as most people have heard that there is a large animal veterinary shortage. And so these folks definitely earned some time.
Maybe they'll let some of the guys in with lower grades.
Might have to. And of course, Larson Hay is closed on Thanksgiving for their staff to enjoy some time with their families. So you will not, and I'm sure Seminole Feed Stores is as well, so
Right.
they can have some time off. So get stocked up. Tomorrow's Wednesday, so if you're listening on the radio,
You already missed
had
it.
Thanksgiving. We'll be back after this with Emma from Peterson Smith. Stay with us. This portion of the Horse Talk Show is brought to you by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care, our television broadcast sponsor, Larson Hay, Idaho's finest alfalfa, and supporting sponsors DAC Minerals and Vitamins, Seminole Feed Stores, Lip Chip, Piranha, Pat Myers Electric, Florida HVAC Services, and Ocala Dog Ranch. This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now or go to feeddac.com. DAC, it makes a world of difference.
Equestrian. It's not just a word but a title. It comes paired with hard work, discipline, and talent. LipChip is a company built by equestrians to make life at the barn a little easier. Introducing the Hooflink system, powered by LipChip, where a microchip becomes a secure key to unlock temperature, register for your next event, and keep track of required documents. Simply implant, scan, and unlock. Equestrians, the future is here, and the future is LipChip.
Nirvana, Ocala's premier medical spa, is leading the way in great skin with all the newest in treatment options, offering prejuvenation for younger clients and rejuvenation for all ages. Nirvana knows you want to look your very best, but we've all seen people with the telltale signs of too much work. We want you to look like you, just better, brighter and younger, with all the newest and best in technology and all in the most beautiful surroundings. Like Nirvana Medical Spa on Facebook and find them on the web at nirvanamedicalspa.com. Become a better, brighter and younger you. The team of professionals at Equifence of Florida specialize in equestrian fencing, offering great communication, quality fencing, and all done in a timely manner. Reliable service with horse safety in mind all the time. Also offering customized residential, vinyl, wood, aluminium, and chain link fences services. Equifence of Florida, quality fencing done right to keep your animals safe. For more information, find Equifence of Florida on Facebook now. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the second segment of the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
I'm Louisa Barton.
I'm Dancing Pete Rhoda.
And we have coming up a little chat we had with Emma at Peterson Smith. We were actually over there visiting to see the new CT wing and had a chance to talk to her. She is their social media management person and is newer on their staff. So we wanted to hear from her a little bit of her background, which is extensive. So here's Emma. Louisa Barton here for the Horse Talk Show with Emma Van Riper, and Emma works at Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. She's been with them for just under a couple of months, and she is in their marketing role and has been helping us connect with the veterinarians to get you all the information that you want to learn about this clinic, this hospital. So Emma, I love that you came on board. I'm loving to get to know you and a little bit about you, but I think it's nice if people know a little bit about your background, and you're a horse person yourself.
Yes.
So kind of tell us when you started riding and what sport you got interested in.
Absolutely. So I've ridden basically my entire life. I started seriously when I was around 14, moving from just, weekly lessons to leasing and then eventually buying a horse. And I grew up doing primarily the hunter jumpers, but when I was 16, I started working for a local FEI rider. Just cleaning stalls and doing basic stuff for him there. And that eventually grew into a working student role. So just before I turned 18, I moved onto their property and moved my horse and spent a little more than a year as a working student, exercising the horses, doing barn management, and really learned a lot there. I did.
What a wonderful opportunity
Yes.
that was, because that really gives you that grounding and that experience, and then even just being associated with somebody who's at that level helps you to see just the ins and outs of everything that goes on, right?
Yeah, looking back, I'm incredibly grateful for that opportunity because I really didn't know how to ride before I started riding dressage. I think other disciplines can really learn a lot from dressage, even if you're just, a hunter jumper rider or doing any Western stuff, there's always something to be learned from really correct flat work and learning how a horse biomechanically works.
That's so true. I've had so many people tell me that dressage is such a great basis for everything else.
Absolutely. Yeah, before I went and worked in, and did the dressage, my horse and I could barely get around a 2-6 horse, or I'm sorry, we could barely get around a 2-6 course. And then the first time I jumped after spending that year doing dressage, we were able to get around like a 3-foot meter course with no issues at all, without really even practicing up until then. So it really changed the game for me and my horses.
That's wonderful. So tell us about your horse. What's his name?
I have a horse named Castiel. He's an off-the-track quarter horse, which is very rare to see in the English world. Most of the time they're snapped up by the barrel racers, but mine is about 16 hands, and he's very dopey and quiet.
Wow.
So not the type the barrel racers wanted. So I purchased him and have done a little bit of everything from eventing to dressage, the hunter jumpers. Really, as an adult amateur, I just want to have fun. So
that's wonderful. And it's great that you have that background in this role at Peterson Smith, because it really helps if you can speak the language.
Of course. Yeah, I originally had planned on being a professional rider, but while I was a working student, I ended up getting hurt and deciding, maybe I should, be an adult and go to college and, learn how to do things outside of the industry. So I did college completely online, starting while I was a working student, and then eventually moved to Maryland for an internship at a riding stable there where I managed the office. From there, I worked in veterinary finance, and then now I'm here as the marketing coordinator at Peterson Smith.
Wow. So you've got the background that fits this perfectly.
Yes, I like to think so, at least.
Tell us a little bit about what you do at Peterson and Smith as part of that marketing role. Obviously, you connect with us.
Yeah, so I do the social media. I speak with you, of course, and set up all of our initiatives with like magazines such as The Plaid Horse. We work with FTBOA and generally organizations in the area to promote everything we have going on here.
And just to comment on, and then maybe it's early yet because you've only been with them for a couple months, but I know that there is a large animal veterinary shortage, and I'm sure you see the veterinarians here working very hard to keep up with living in a place with 75,000 horses, and you must see a variety of different things and even cows.
Yes.
So it's a very interesting role to have, but wonderful that you have this background and experience, and it must definitely benefit the clinic to have you.
Yes, working in my previous role in veterinary finance, I was much more client-facing, and there I really developed an empathy for equine vets, dealing with the clients, even some of the more particularly difficult people. I can't imagine dealing with everyone who really, we all want the best for our horses, and it's hard to separate people from veterinary roles, honestly. So that was really rambly.
No, but that was absolutely spot on, and you're right. And it's good that you do have that empathy so you can understand how overwhelming of a role it can be, and to just be kind and patient with your veterinarian, which we always emphasize that. So lovely to talk to you, Emma.
You as well.
Emma Van Riper, she is the marketing coordinator at Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. We're loving getting to know her and enjoying having her in this role. Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show.
Ta-da! It's just like magic, isn't it?
That's right.
So big shout out to Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care for actually quite a few things. First of all, Dr. Kayot coming and doing an absolutely wonderful evaluation of a horse for, actually we had quite a few students there that were interested in being veterinarians, which is, as I had mentioned in this interview, large animal veterinarian shortage. It was nice to see some kids there, some young people at the Equine Industry Expo who were interested in becoming a large animal vet. I was very happy to see that. And Dr. Kayot did a great examination on Bella the pony, and then a lameness exam on Pete's horse. And these young folks were interested in what he was doing, and great that he took time out of his schedule to get people interested in this as a career. And the young lady that was actually a volunteer on Friday from CF did a fantastic job actually managing. I told her I was going to go and take the pony off her, and then I saw her managing the pony just fine, and I said, I don't have to, she's fine. And actually Bella's a very good pony, but it was a new environment. So, but well done to Peterson Smith just for being there, for Dr. Kayot taking time out of his busy schedule.
He looks so professional with his stethoscope. And
it was fantastic. And also to Emma, who came on Friday and was part of the expo on Friday, and then came back on Saturday, and even though she only had a few hours to spare, she went ahead and did some scorekeeping for us for the Hobby Horse Equestrian Games as well. So wonderful to have somebody that's got all of her knowledge being involved at Peterson Smith, because when you're in social media, if you don't have the knowledge of what you're doing, it's very hard to be good at it. It's very hard to know what to share or how to comment on things, and she really does a phenomenal job.
Just like what we do. You got to get out in front of the camera and see how it feels to be out here, and then you can do the social media.
Exactly. That's right.
Right, Kylie?
So I love that Emma's on board with Peterson Smith. And actually, I had a chance to meet her at Royal Blessing Rescue first. She came up to me and said, by the way, I've emailed you and I'm going to email you back. And she was actually there helping Anne at her boarding farm. And I got to meet her there first and then got to connect with her. And when we went to interview Dr. Hughes, it was great because she had everything lined up for us and all the people that we needed to talk to.
Isn't that nice when somebody knows what's going to happen, sets everybody up?
Yeah, so it's great that she has that background, she has that experience, that she does a great job promoting everything that Peterson Smith does for the horse world, that she was involved in the Expo, and the Hobby Horse Games was fantastic. So hats off to Emma. And very, very grateful that Dr. Kayot was able to take time out of his busy schedule to be with us and to kind of show what they do all the time, every day. So back to being kind to your veterinarian and to your equine dentist and to any other professionals.
And your horse trainer.
Your horse trainer?
Yeah.
And your farrier.
And your farrier. We could keep going. Chiropractor.
I put at the bottom of the schedule, both for the Expo and the Hobby Horse Games, I put horses don't have watches. So please know that you do need to be very, very flexible with us on times. And that's something that anytime you're dealing with horses, you've got to remember, your vet, your farrier, they might be late and it might be a horse thing. It happens.
Yeah, I get a lot of people like, my vet was late. And then he says, yeah, horse just got his whole leg almost cut off and I had to sew him up. And then they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So be really kind to your professionals because remember, horses don't tell time. We'll be back after this break. Stay with us on the Horse Talk Show. This portion of the Horse Talk Show is brought to you by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care, our television broadcast sponsor, Larson Hay, Idaho's finest alfalfa, and supporting sponsors DAC Minerals and Vitamins, Seminole Feed Stores, Lip Chip, Piranha, Pat Myers Electric, Florida HVAC Services, and Ocala Dog Ranch.
Faulty wiring is the leading cause of barn fires. I'm Pat with Pat Myers Electric. Equine facilities have special electrical needs. The knowledgeable and licensed team of electricians at Pat Myers Electric will ensure that you can achieve your vision for a beautiful, safe, and functional horse facility. From new construction to rewiring and updating, the Pat Myers Electric team is ready to jump in and help keep your horses safe. With a small farm of our own, we truly understand the unique concerns of the horse owner. Don't take chances. For all your current barn needs, go to patmyerselectric.com.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at SeminoleFeed.com.
Horses. Piranha! Oh no! Oh, the humanity! Oh, piranha.
Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care seeks to be a leading international veterinary practice that provides state-of-the-art veterinary care to their patients while fostering professional relationships with their clients that stand the test of time. For 24/7 and the best in equine care, check out Peterson and Smith at petersonsmith.com or like them on Facebook now for more information.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hey, this is Buck Brannaman. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the third segment of the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms. They're our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
I'm Louisa Barton.
I'm Dancing Pete Rhoda.
And guess what we're going to do? We are going to share
some hobby horse games.
We are going to share. So before we even share anything, I've got to say, Isaac Brocious ran around for 2 solid days. I don't know how his arms didn't drop off. Reach Video Production, amazing. Round of applause for Isaac, because he never stopped for 2 solid days and was even looking for other ways to help me with sound and the microphone.
Didn't he film the parade?
Music.
Didn't he film the parade and then droned it right after?
He did. And he made sure we had music for the event all day, made the microphone work with the music, made sure we had parade music. Isaac, he did it all. So I have to say, before we even start, if you're watching and you see this footage, you're going to see some great footage from both of these 2 days of events. So Equine Industry Expo, presented by Advanced Talent Solutions, just amazing. And just so you know, Isaac films this in this grey thing and then he colours it. And I'm telling you, it makes this. So if you're listening on the radio, if you're on 96,
it looks really good. There's lots of good color.
Facebook or Equus TV and see. And you'll actually see Clayton Wilbur here in action from Florida Farrier Service, and the footage is fantastic. Those white panels you see behind you are these wonderful movable panels that come from FEI Stabling, and he does rent those out, and they are wonderful panels because they're easier to move than the big heavy metal ones, so you can move round pens around. But I mean, this footage is phenomenal, and it shows Clayton, who very, very professional farrier service, has a school as well for students out of high school that want to go into farrier work. He's just recently opened that school down in Summerfield. So very, very impressive. We had some really top professionals showing what they do in the equine industry to the next generations coming up, which is fantastic. And Dr. Kayot, yep, as we mentioned earlier, Dr. Kayot from Peterson Smith was there. Little old Bella, who was a winner at hits in the greens many years ago for my daughter, when my daughter was much younger. And that's little Bella, little chubby Bella, being very well behaved for this demonstration. So we also had Dancing Pete Rhoda with his codependent horses, codependent on one another.
That's right.
Vedette and River were doing their little demo there, horsemanship demo, which was fantastic. And Jenna from Marion Therapeutic Riding Association had some veterans who have had such incredible experiences from being around horses, everything from posture to obviously to helping physical, mental disabilities, whatever issue it might be, or PTSD, or whatever they may be going through from their past experiences in military service to our country. And so it's just amazing what we got to learn about all the different kinds of programs. And Ian from BEMA. Ian Robb, working on Pete's horses there with the BEMA blanket. So you can learn about all sorts of opportunities, whether you want to go and work for somebody or you want to start your own business. Maybe you want to start your own therapy business. Maybe you want to set up and sell BEMA products. Maybe you want to go and work for a therapeutic riding center.
I had one person that was there. He came up. He was a freshman in college. He was pre-vet. And he said, "Do you let people ride with you?" And I said, "Sure. Just give me a call. Let's come ride with me, learn what you want to learn."
And I've got to switch it up because I don't want to run out of time to talk about the parade. And I just want to say incredible shout out to every single one of the horse owners that came. And these folks are amazing. Ryan Anderson is amazing. This group of horses have never ridden together with flags. They got this together and trained together in the morning before the parade. And the national anthem by L.T. Duport was the most beautiful I have ever heard in my entire...
Goosebumps.
Oh, everybody had goosebumps. I've got them now talking about it.
That's right.
She was amazing, and Isaac droned and filmed that beautiful parade. He's going to put a recap together for us of that. Very excited. Pat Myers Electric and Piranha leading those beautiful horses around. Carriages, minis, mules, just amazing, amazing.
That's it. That looks like commercial for the Florida Horse Park right there.
Doesn't it? It really does. It's beautiful. And then, of course, we had the Hobby Horse Equestrian Games, which, oh my goodness, to have that many kids learning all sorts of different horse sports, from the safety of a stick horse, competing all day long in all the different sports, to win ribbons, and they were serious about it. I mean, they were serious about
Isn't
winning.
that what Linda Pirelli said? She judged the dressage.
Linda Pirelli was surprised at this, how serious they were about doing well, so that they could be part of the end of the day. Racing, of course, with Ali Demerick Rice and Brandon Rice and their family were so gorgeous, arriving on all their horses for the parade as well.
And she actually made a track. It wasn't just starting gate.
And then, of course, the Pasofino class, which was absolutely amazing. We even had a real Pasofino demo it. And then, of course, the Taylor Scromie barrel race, which was absolutely, in one hand, devastating, and then also a blessing to have the Scromie family, who lost their daughter, who was a barrel racer, lost her to a motorbike accident. They actually flew in to be here for the barrel race, and Squeak Larkins taught that. So overall, at the end of the day, then, having to look at all of their stick horses and try to pick a winner was so hard, because they all tried so hard. And it was just amazing. And one young lady even told me she deliberately matched her horse up to her shirt.
Wow.
And, I mean, they were really, really serious. It was a very hard decision by our judges, who were the sponsors of the event at the end of the day, to choose. And then, of course, we had the wonkiest donkey to go for the most unique, odd and strange looking.
And who won that?
Stick horse is a lovely little young man who had made his own weird and wonky stick horse.
Oh, very good.
Really, it was fantastic. And everybody got a goodie bag for participation, because even though we're not about participation trophies, those kids ran all day long and deserved a goodie bag.
I bet the parents were real happy about that one. They went home and slept.
Yeah, they have to have slept really good after an incredible, incredible day of great fun, and at the same time serious, because they really learned about the equestrian sport that they were taught by a top professional.
Right. And what I like is seeing the kids helping each other. Like, okay, the pattern's this, and then you do this.
It was amazing. And then, of course, the breed exhibit went on all day, and the carriage rides, courtesy of Larson Hay, that went around for us. We were blessed to have Derek Dorvit with his Gypsy Vanners, followed by the Clydesdales and Lindsay.
And wasn't there a special guest in the parade?
There was.
Oh, there he is.
Santa came and made everything so incredibly special for us, and made the kids extra smile. And he got his little carriage ride with the Gypsy Vanners as well. So, and our wonderful mare of 12 years prior to the current mare, Kent Gwynn, who was the best mare and always loved the horses and was always involved in the horse world, came as well. So overall, I have to say the 2 days was, let me use Isaac Brocious' words. Isaac gave me my first ever stupendous.
Oh, wow.
At the end of day 2, and he never ever gives me a stupendous. So
wow.
For him to say to me, I said, how do you think it went? And he got up from behind the speaker in the mic room, and he went, stupendous. And you could have actually knocked me over with a feather, because I was like, what? I've never got a stupendous in 2.5 years.
But people listening and watching don't realize Isaac, when we asked him, well, how was the show? And he goes, well,
it was okay.
It was okay.
I would have done this. I would have done that. But we actually did get a stupendous from Isaac. So that's really a high honor. So I was excited to hear that. And, for somebody who videoed it all day long, both days, he really did get to see it. And I just want to say, Reach Video, wow. Reach out to Reach Video if you would like to have your event recorded. Right. Beautifully, and that
3rd annual. Are we going for 4?
We'll talk about that later.
She's got to get over the shock.
Coming be back after this with Sean McCarthy from McCarthy Equine Dentistry. Stay with us. Larson Farms is our TV broadcast sponsor. Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa.
This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala, where the entire team is committed to making your experience in sales and service hassle-free and easier than ever with no games or gimmicks. Come in and visit on Southwest College Road or online at palmchevrolet.com. A second-to-none experience with all the amenities. Palm Chevy, find new roads.
LipChip is a company built by equestrians to make life at the barn a little easier. Equestrians, the future is here, and the future is LipChip.
This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. DAC, it makes a world of difference. The Equine Performance and Innovative Center, situated on 30 pristine acres in the horse capital of the world, is one of the finest and most complete conditioning and rehab centers for equines and canines in the nation, including an equine hyperbaric chamber, aqua pacer, water treadmill, cold water leg spa, equine swimming pool, Eurosizer, and more. Epic equine veterinarians specializing in rehab and conditioning. For more information, go to epcrehab.com or find them on social media.
Cut through the noise and distinguish your business with a custom vehicle wrap from Smash Wraps. Get noticed with eye-catching vehicle wraps that showcase your brand's identity and earn you more business. If you're looking for a custom-designed vinyl wrap for horse trailers, box trucks, cars, or pickup trucks, for a single fleet vehicle, or for 100, no job is too big for the Smash Wraps team. Make your appointment to set your business apart today. Find us on social media or at smashwraps.com. And remember, don't just wrap it, smash wrap it.
This show was brought to you in part by TT Distributors, dedicated to bringing their customers the largest selection of quality horse supplements, products, and farrier supplies in Florida at affordable prices. Also online at ttdistributors.com.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show. Have you ever heard of a horse that could talk? Listen to this. With your host, Louisa Barton. She's literally in love with every horse. Presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. She's back in the saddle again. And now here's your host,
Pretty.
Louisa Barton. She's a Brit, she's got the gift of the gab, and her guests are fab.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. We're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. I'm Louisa Barton, and I have the pleasure of having somebody in the studio with me, Sean McCarthy of McCarthy Equine Dentistry. I have had Sean work on my mini donkeys. I've also had him work on my pony and my Mustang. And I'm going to tell you, it is dentistry with a difference for sure. But first of all, before we talk about that, I want to thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
And I also want to thank you for being with us for the Equine Industry Expo.
That was honestly, hands down, a wonderful experience. Getting to bring some knowledge to younger people that are looking for a way into the equine industry. Not only the vets, I heard you mention the vets are short. We as equine professionals, whether it be farriers, dentists, we are all struggling. And the more we can encourage these young people to come in to these different career paths, the better off we are going to be as horse owners as well.
I agree. And, you know, I think until people see it, the idea of perhaps getting in a horse's mouth could be intimidating to some people. But I think seeing it in action is the first time I ever saw a dental floating on a horse, I was like, oh, that's different than what I expected.
Absolutely. The horse that we're looking at there was a little rambunctious, but come to find he had some issues going on, and we dealt with it. And But it is intimidating, but you find a good school to go to, and it's a continual learning process. It's not just going to a school, it's continually learning new techniques and continuing education.
You know, and I did notice at the Equine Industry Expo, the students that were coming over to you and watching were staying for quite some time and asking a lot of questions and were very interested.
They were asking a lot of questions on aging horses. What I actually do, a lot of people think I'm cleaning their teeth and not actually what we do. So being able to explain to them what we do and why we do it, it helps them as future horse owners as well. There I'm showing them that the equipment is safe to touch. Everything is safety for the horse now, even the little one. And this is no longer just a male-dominated field. It's horsemanship. It's not just pure muscle anymore.
No. And I noticed that with you and about the way you are with the horses, and certainly not to put anybody else down, but I don't think I've ever seen anybody work on horses with such patience, kindness, and quietness. And the horses, if they feel any sense of stress, obviously that helps.
Absolutely. Like you said earlier in one of the segments, horses don't have watches. So I may be in a hurry, I may have a full day, but you can't rush the horse. You try to rush, there's not going to be a good outcome. So you just keep in contact. I'm not going to rush through your horse to get to Pete's horse. Everybody's going to get the time it needs. Yours may stand great and we get done quickly. Another may need some extra nose kisses, some pets, and happy days. But they all get what they need. And that's what we do.
And again, no names mentioned, but I have recently had a very, very tragic experience losing my Mini. And we actually don't know what his real cause of death was. However, he was experiencing an impaction at the time. And I had started to switch his diet because he'd been recently diagnosed with PPID or Cushing's. And he was obviously having trouble chewing a slightly different hay. And a lot of that was due to his teeth problems. So sometimes people don't think through, you know, how, and time runs by you too, you know, it gets away from you. But when you've had your horse's teeth, especially minis, which are not a favorite of most equine dentists to do, not because they're not cute, but because they're more difficult to do than the big horses.
Absolutely.
So having had him done 3 times and having got him, when I took ownership, he had a lot of teeth issues. Having him have had his teeth done 3 times and be in the state they were in lets me know, first, A, minis are hard to do, and B, you need to really have knowledge to know what is being done inside your horse's mouth.
Absolutely. And most equine dentist professionals will give you a chart. Hey, this is what I found. Louisa, I have to come back and work on this horse. I do want to tell you, though, I was not the one that worked on your Mini.
This was prior to me knowing Sean. Long time ago.
So, you know, we can, yes, I don't know your Mini's history, but sometimes we have to do stage reductions where we have to return and get after things. But there's a chart where I like to chart things so I know, but I can also explain to the owner what I saw, what I did. Oh, that was at your barn working. Yeah.
I have never, honestly, ever been given such a professional documentation of what was going on in my horse's mouth, which I loved.
I find it so foreign that I hear this. The technology is there. Believe me, I'm not a technological guru by any means, but look, there's a printer back there, there's an iPad, there's a chart explaining to you.
And that's really nice, not just for the owner, but that's nice for you as well, because you see so many horses, you can't remember everything.
Absolutely.
You've got a track of where you were.
Absolutely.
And if you have a situation with the horse that you do have to come back multiple times because there is a problem, at least you can see where you were last time, right?
There's 11 years of records just in my system that we can see what's going on. Oh, there's a cute little guy.
Yes, this is a little rescue Mini that actually had his jaw broken by the prior owners before he was rescued, and it had all sorts of issues and concerns, and actually they weren't even sure what they could possibly do with his jaw. And you were so kind and gentle with him and patient because he wasn't sure what was going on.
Absolutely.
Probably never been done. Oh, he got a kiss.
They all get kisses.
Maybe you should rename yourself a kissing dentist.
Gee whiz.
It is lovely though, because you're non-threatening to them and they
Well,
relax.
that's if you can approach them. Again, I go back to the horsemanship. That horse is unsedated. You know, it's illegal for me as a dentist to sedate a horse. And I don't do it. Most don't. Most follow the rules. But you can obviously get through it. There, you can see where she has the wry nose, and I had to adjust the incisors because she couldn't chew correctly. And then she was able to happily go out to her paddock afterwards, not having to stand around and, you know.
It was wonderful. So you taught us lots of things about aging a horse through their teeth. You also took care of my Mustang as well, which I know at first you thought Mustang and we're like, oh no, wild. And then he was so good for you.
I did a 2-year-old Mustang today that came in and lovely, lovely young animal.
They are lovely.
So,
they really are.
Absolutely.
More people would give them a chance. I think
Absolutely.
they'd be really surprised about how well they do behave.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can tell you, Sean, that my experience since I've met you, I wish I'd known you sooner, but since I've met you, I've been so impressed. The way you handled my donkeys, the way you handled my Mustang, the way you handled my pony yesterday, what you did at the Expo, educating our next generations coming up, and the time that you took out of your busy schedule to do that for us. We really appreciate it so
much. Well, it's absolutely our pleasure, which is not just me, but my wife, Rachel, does all the background. I just show up. So my wife, hands down, couldn't do it without her. So it's absolutely my pleasure, and thank you for having me out.
Absolutely. McCarthy Equine Dentistry, the dentist to the Horse Talk Show, we're very, very grateful to have them on board with us, doing everything that they're doing in and around Marion County and further to help these horses be better. And the kindness, the difference in the dentistry, the kindness, the gentle hand, and the kisses. Gotta wrap it up. We'll be right back on the Horse Talk Show. Stay with us.
Thank you.
Thank you to the presenting sponsor of this portion of the show, Palm Chevrolet, and to our TV broadcast sponsor, Larson Hay. Also, thank you to the supporting sponsors, the Equine Performance and Innovative Center, TT Distributors, Equifence of Florida, the Florida Horse Park, Smash Wraps, Nirvana Medical Spa, Equigreen, JNS Pressure Washing, Horse Vans, and Midnight Rose Equestrian. The team of professionals at Equifence of Florida specialize in equestrian fencing. Equifence of Florida, quality fencing done right to keep your animals safe.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed.
Piranha! Oh no! Oh, the humanity! Oh, Piranha.
My name is Dr. Natalie Solomon. I formulated Equigreen with cutting-edge science and technology alongside the passion that is represented by a lifelong love of horses. I created a product that I would trust for my horses because they deserve nothing but the best for their bodies. Horses rely on us to take care of them, to love them, to respect them. This is how Equigreen came to life. Equigreen, CBD for your horse that you can trust.
Does your farm need a facelift? Has the harsh Florida climate left your barns, stable doors, and fences stained? JNS Pressure Washing has a professional team who can exceed your expectations and restore your farm to its former glory. Get rid of dust and cobwebs that can cause allergies and health issues for horses, and keep your horses safe by limiting fire hazards in the barn. JNS Pressure Washing can clean your house, your barns, your fences, and your driveway, and you can count on dependable and professional services. For more information, call Steven at 352-502-5355.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
This is Charlotte Cannon, and you are listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, they're our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
We're switching it up now to Muriel from MD Equine Therapy, and she's talking about thermal imaging. Here she is.
Louisa Barton here for the Horse Talk Show and the CEP's Equine Initiative, and I am sitting with Muriel from MD Equine Therapy, and we are going to talk about thermal imaging. Muriel, as part of your modalities, as you come out and visit horses and do some holistic treatments to help support them or to work on complementing what they're doing with the veterinarian, you use thermal imaging. Tell us a little bit about that and about the device that you're holding in your hand.
Yeah. This is a thermal imaging camera. It's a FLIR E8 model, and it uses thermography. And
Big word.
Yeah, and it's actually a non-invasive tool that takes images, and it shows you the heat and inflammation in the body, or also cold, so inflammation or a lack of blood flow in the body. So it really helps me. So it's not an ultrasound, it's not an X-ray. Some people are like, okay, take a thermal imaging picture and then we can know what the injury is. No, we cannot do that. You still, if we suspect or we know that the horse has a medical condition or an injury, we always want to make sure we involve the veterinarian to take proper X-rays, proper ultrasounds, MRIs, whatever is needed. But this is really a great tool to help me with several things. So the first thing it does is, for example, when I feel in the body there's restriction somewhere or pain, or I do feel there's some heat, I can take a picture with this, and it basically confirms that there is an issue. It doesn't always need a veterinarian because horses can be sore, right? They can have shoulder pain or back pain or saddle pain or foot pain. But it's really good for the horse owner or the trainer to show it to them. Say like, this is what's going on. That's where the problem is. And they often go like, oh yeah, that's where I feel it. But it wasn't that obvious to them with the naked eye or to the touch. Where for me, often it is. When I look at a horse, I can quite quickly say, oh, this horse is off or lame, even if it's a 1 or 1.5 lameness, which is sometimes pretty hard to detect, right? Because it's so subtle. They go like, no, my horse is not lame. And I was like, yeah, your horse is lame. And then with this camera, we can often find where there's a little bit of a problem area. So maybe a little bit of heat in the tendon or in the muscle or maybe in the foot, under the saddle. So you can find problem areas with this. And then I know where to focus on as well. Or say, hey, let's investigate this further. That's not right. Let's investigate it before. So it can also prevent.
Right. I was going to say, it could also be that precursor for you to call the vet if you haven't had a veterinary exam.
Correct.
On a concern, and you see a lot of inflammation in an area. It might be the precursor to an injury. So It might be a good time to, if you do need to rest the horse or rehab the horse, and not continue competing and training, this might be a good sign that, hey, it would be a good idea to call the vet. We can go on with some complementary treatments, but let's find out how big this is.
Exactly. And then the other thing is before and after. So I do multiple modalities. So I might take a picture before, especially of a shoulder or a saddle area or hind end or even a leg. Do the therapies, it can be beamer, laser, bodywork, clay, all types of modalities, and then take a picture after, because then you can see how much that area has improved, or maybe it stayed the same. So if it stayed the same, you can say like, well, you didn't, it wasn't effective. We're dealing with a problem. Where I often have before pictures that really light up, like the saddle area or shoulder or the neck or a glute. And then I do the therapy, and then we take another picture, post picture, and it's gone. That area is gone.
That's fantastic. So that's wonderful because you can actually see what has happened.
from
Yeah.
the treatment.
Yeah, from the treatment. Yeah.
That's wonderful. And I think sometimes people forget that although a horse may not have bucked its shin, it may not have broken anything, fractured anything, it might not have an injury, but just like us,
It gets
you get sore. And if you maybe work a little bit harder or you up your training level or you recently competed at a very high level, the horse can just be painful without necessarily being broken. And how wonderful to be able to see where that inflammation is. And then that's an area you can also be aware of in the future. Hey, this is where my horse gets inflammation. I need to be mindful of that. And then to get the treatments to help the horse and then be able to actually see the evidence of how much that modality has helped the horse feel better. So that really is a miracle right there.
And it's also the opposite. So it's also lack of circulation. So I also find quite a bit of areas on horses that don't have enough blood flow. One of them is the hind legs, for example, because they're furthest away from the heart, right? So it's hardest to get the blood flow there. In the hind end, maybe in one glute, not the other glutes. So then we can focus on that with different therapies and say like, okay, let's increase the circulation in this area. And then the same thing, you do a pre image, you do the therapy, and then a post image. So you can really see. So it's really proof of what you're doing. And it's a very easy way. There are a couple of rules that are important because it detects heat. You don't want to do thermal imaging on a horse that's in the sun or a horse that just came out of the pasture. Or when you have a hard blowing fan on one side of the body and not on the other side. So it picks up on temperature, on outdoor temperature. So the best would be like here, like a dark stall. Where the horse has already been in there for a little bit, they have a steady temperature. Yeah, they weren't running, The same thing, if a horse is exercising before, you take pictures, yes, it's going to show a lot more heat than if a horse is at rest.
That makes sense.
So there's a lot of variables.
So you want a good balanced environment to check.
Yeah, lots of lots of variables, and
I'm sure I'm red all over. Yes, I am. Lots of inflammation. There's nothing like raking dirt. How we find you, Muriel?
So people can find me at mb-equine.com online, or just call 727-251-4197. It's the St. Petersburg phone number, but I'm based in the horse capital of the world, Ocala.
Marion County, Florida. That's right.
And helping many horses. It doesn't matter if you have performance horses, retired horses, backyard horses, young to old. Doesn't matter discipline, the breeds. I'm
not breed specific.
Not breed specific.
With over 70 in Marion County, bring them on, right? That's wonderful. Thank you, Muriel. Louisa Barton here for the Horse Talk Show and the CEP's Equine Initiative. Thank you to the presenting sponsor of this portion of the show, Palm Chevrolet, and to our TV broadcast sponsor, Larson Hay. Also, thank you to the supporting sponsors, the Equine Performance and Innovative Center, TT Distributors, Equifencer Florida, the Florida Horse Park, Smash Wraps, Nirvana Medical Spa, Equigreen, JNS Pressure Washing, Horse Vans, and Midnight Rose Equestrian. Ocala Dog Ranch offers a variety of services for your dog, including agility training, barn hunt training, board and train, boarding long and short term, daycare, day training, dock diving training and competitions, disc dog, swimming lessons and pool rentals, lure coursing and obedience training classes. Check out Ocala Dog Ranch at ocaladogranch.com. Ocala Dog Ranch is your home away from home for your dog and more.
This show was brought to you in part by TT Distributors, also online at ttdistributors.com.
Cut through the noise and distinguish your business with a custom vehicle wrap from Smash Wraps. And remember, don't just wrap it, smash wrap it.
Epic Equine Veterinarians specializing in rehab and conditioning.
This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala. Palm Chevy, find new roads.
Equigreen, CBD for your horse that you can trust.
Nirvana, Ocala's premier medical spa, is leading the way in great skin with all the newest in treatment options. Become a better, brighter, and younger you.
The Pat Myers Electric team is ready to jump in and help keep your horses safe. For all your current barn needs, go to patmyerselectric.com.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the final segment of the Horse Talk Show for this week, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms. They're our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
And it's time for Pete's Tip of the Week.
Dance and Pete's Tip of the Week, brought to you by Complimentary Horsemanship. This tip is sponsored by WildlifeWorksLLC.com for your unwanted wild critters removal. All right.
Brought to you by
Wildlife Works.
And what do they do, Dancing Pete Roller?
They take care of the unwanted critters that you don't want in your farm.
That would be the four
or your
legs
house.
that you don't want, and other things that don't have legs that might slither that you don't want.
Yeah, the ones with no legs are sometimes
They're the ones
worse.
You really don't want. That's right. Yes.
Okay, so tip of the week, I was talking to a student on the way to the studio, and she's done a lot of lessons over the phone with me. She's done clinics with me, and she's now really busy. So I said, well, she goes, well, I'm probably not doing this as well as I could. And I said, no, you've put in the quantity to get the quality. So we did a lot of lessons to go for quality. Now that she has the quality, she's telling me stories of what she's doing with her horses. And I said, that's quality work. Yeah, but I only could get on my horse for a couple of minutes. And I said, yeah, but the quality work you're doing for the short time of quantity is now the right time, because before you had to put in all this time to get the quality. Now that you have quality in what you do with everything, now you don't have to take as much time. And your horse is going to get better, because she says, every time I go out there, I only have 2 days a week that I barely get to do anything. But every time I go out there, they're getting better and better. Where before, we'd do 4 or 5 lessons before she was getting this kind of quality. So I said, there you go. And I was like, oh, that's a great tip. Put in the time put in the time to get that quality. And then when you have the quality, you don't have to do it as much because you have that quality.
Speaking of quality, this is a great pivot here to Ocala Dog Ranch. And I want to do a shout out for Neil, who is the owner of Ocala Dog Ranch, who looked after my dogs so that we could be busy all weekend and I wouldn't have to worry about what time I got home, which was good because I think it was 10, 11 o'clock most of the time. So, and he actually provided the wonderful little jumps we had in the kids zone in the events over the weekend. And that was fantastic fun. And Royal Blessing Rescue provided those lovely little bouncy horses for the kids who had such a good time. The kids zone was...
Yeah, I'm glad Sarah Myers didn't get you guys the picture of me on one.
Oh, I did see that actually. It's a shame I don't have it right now. I think I did put it on Facebook though, so it could be seen. But that was fantastic. So thank you to Neil so much for having my dogs over the weekend, for being there to let everybody learn about all the great things they do for dogs, from doggy daycare to boarding to jumping in pools to rat races around to all sorts of other fun stuff that they do. And look at his stick horse. I'm sorry, but he should have been in the lineup for the best stick horse. Because that's a real cute one with the Horse Talk Show.
Did he not get it for the company stick horse?
He would have if he'd have been in the competition in the end. He would have definitely won. So, but anyway, the Kids Zone is a great opportunity to mention another wonderful organization that made this weekend so special. And that is Gentle Carousel Miniature Therapy Horses, who visit all of our elementary schools. What they were doing with the kids was so great. They were having the kids lead on the other side of the miniature horse so they could learn how to lead a horse. And just to have that interaction that they normally don't have was so great.
That's
They do their reading program, but they let kids visit and then jump the little horse over the little jumps. So just a very, very special organization that do wonderful things. So when you're when you're thinking of 501c3s maybe towards the end of the year, and you're thinking that, hey, I'd like to make a tax deductible donation to good charities, I would say Gentle Carousel Miniature Therapy Horses, Royal Blessing Rescue, Marion Therapeutic Riding Association, all who got involved in making this event wonderful. And how fantastic that Taylor Scromie's family flew in to be there for the barrel race, and Michelle Fortner there from Sisters and Fortner Farms did such a great job demonstrating the barrels. So lots of shout outs for absolutely wonderful, wonderful folks. And I think I'm interviewing Apollo there.
He's saying a lot, I bet, too.
Yes, he had a lot to say. But that's the Scromie family actually that flew in, who lost their daughter Taylor to a terrible motorbike accident. And it was just so nice to see, her mum there with Apollo. And Apollo actually is kind of memorializing her life by visiting lots of rehab centers in her honor. And she was a rehab nurse as well. So very, very, very special connections there. And teared me up a little bit when I was telling the kids the story. But they got to race in Taylor's honor this weekend. So that was all absolutely fantastic.
And then I heard her dad was over there cheering the kids on and made his day.
Yes, he was even on a stick horse galloping across the arena. I have video proof of it. So, but anyway, that was incredible weekend. Everything was just beautiful. So proud of everybody that was involved. I think we've got time for Dr. Rouland to do his quick tip. So here's Dr. Rouland from Equine Performance and Innovative Centre.
Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show here with Dr. Alberto Rouland at the Equine Performance and Innovative Centre. And Dr. Rouland has your equine rehab tip of the week.
Our research shows that we can increase healing by 50% or more any wound that we put in the hyperbaric oxygen chamber. This is because it releases stem cells from the bone marrow at a rate 100% more than without it.
Awesome. Dr. Rouland here at the Equine Performance and Innovative Centre. Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show.
Hyperbaric chamber, wonderful, wonderful therapy. There's proven in lots of research and testing and examples of horses who have actually been treated in the hyperbaric chamber and have had incredible results that didn't see good results from other treatments. So that's very, very impressive, having a state-of-the-art facility. It was wonderful to have Andrew with us he's actually the general manager of Equine Performance and Innovative Centre, and he did a wonderful talk on conformation that was fantastic, learning about why it's important to have a horse with good conformation and how it affects. And he actually had his kids with him as well, which was fantastic. They got to experience some of the Expo fun, so that was fantastic. So we would like to ask you to comment on what you're thankful for. Maybe it's something horse related, maybe it's something family related, and we'd like for you to comment on that, share that, message that, and just let us know here at the Horse Talk Show. Maybe you have a very special horse, maybe you're a very special family member, two-legged or four-legged. We would love to hear what you're thankful for this Thanksgiving. Pete, what are you thankful for?
I'm thankful that my horses that I pulled out 2 weeks before the event and got them a little legged up, that they were spot on with me, and they taught a lot of people and got them inspired and a little bit of knowledge. I even had Pat Myers on the side going, I was watching the other demo and I was going cold, colder, hot, hot, yeah, release, release. So that's what it's all about in my book. And even telling River to lay down, and she laid down even though I knew it was going to happen. She was looking for it. So I'm thankful for my horses that they still have all the things, even though I haven't had the time for them. They gave me everything. So it was really nice. Even though I didn't get a chance to get on, I was getting on and then you were like, wrap it up. So.
Yeah, well, we had to keep to schedule because we had a lot to fit in that day. So I'm thankful for a weekend that I think we had a big impact on our community, all generations. I'm thankful for every single person that was there, especially the people who put in the 15 and 16-hour days with me to make it happen. I'm very grateful that they were able to help and that we were all able to put it together as a team to really touch those kids. And just seeing those kids at the end of the day so excited about having been there all day. They were still so excited that they even ran over to watch the drill team after running all day. I'm also thankful that I'm going to spend Thanksgiving with my family and visit with the people I love, especially for my dad, whose health hasn't been great. So I'm thankful to have another Thanksgiving with my dad.
And hopefully we're thankful we're going to do it again next year.
Whether you're in, happy Thanksgiving, by the way. Happy Thanksgiving weekend to all of you listeners. Thank you for all the people who ran up to me and took selfies with me because they're listeners like Lisette that watch and listen to the show. Thank you. We're thankful for every one of you. We wish you a very happy Thanksgiving weekend with your families.
Don't eat too much turkey.
And whether you're in Ocala, Marion County, the horse capital of the world or not.
Or not.
Happy horsing around.
See you next time.
Next week.